हरे कृष्ण। ओम ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिने नमः। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि विचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणि। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So we will today. Balaram Shakti Prabhu's throat is still recovering. We will not be uh, having. Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary, we'll be having Prabhupada Purport. So here we were discussing yesterday about Man, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar, and their properties are explained by Lord Kapila. We will try to further understand, and this is here he is explaining just some of the translations we take so that we'll recollect what we have discussed yesterday. From ego, false ego is characterized as doer, as an instrument, and as an effect. It is further characterized as serene, active, or dull. This is about false ego. And about the false ego of goodness, another transformation takes place and thus evolves the mind, whose thoughts and reflections give rise to desires. So I like, I don't like, that is manas. Whereas ahankar is the kartaham iti manyate. I am the doership mentality. So we have discussed this. I have to do it. I am the doer, and I am the entitled for the results. So all these three things are for ahankar. Manas is I like, I don't like, and then comes the mind of the living entity. The manas is known by the name of Lord Aniruddha, supreme ruler of the senses. He possesses a blackish blue form resembling a lotus flower growing in atom. Is found solely by the yogis. By the transformation of false ego and passion, buddhi, intelligence takes birth. Or the function of buddhi is to help in ascertaining the nature of objects when they come in view and to help the senses. Of course, it is also the active element which is making us function. Buddhi makes us act, it functions also. Like Ahankar decides what to do, but the action is done by Buddhi. That's why we chastise Buddhi. Like Ahankar is deciding, okay, I am a preacher, I should give class. That is Ahankar. But actual to give class is done by Buddhi. And we have discussed these five things. It is told here the five things that Buddhi perceives: doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory, and sleep. That is dream. So these are the functions of characteristics of buddhi. And here, purport is also very interesting. It is described in Patanjali Yoga system, Pranam Viparbhaya Vikalpa Nidra Samsthaya. By intelligence, only one can understand things as that. So here, buddhi is what this level of understanding. By buddhi, only one can understand whether or not he is the body. The study to determine whether one's identity is spiritual or material begins in doubt. So, am I the body or not? So where does that study come? Buddhi. So, we have to awaken our buddhi. And Krishna is telling, yes, I help you, dadami buddhi yogam tam. So this is where the intelligence comes, whether who am I, the thought process, which is not there in animals, which is there in human beings only. When one is able to analyze his actual position, the false identification with the body is detected. And that's actually what happens. This is viparayasa. When false identification is detected, then real identification can be understood. Real understanding is described here as nischaya or proved experimental knowledge. This experimental knowledge can be achieved when one has understood the false knowledge. By experimental or provoked knowledge, one can understand that he is not the body but the spirit soul. Like Krishna tells in 14th chapter Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter Bhagavad Gita, once you know this knowledge, you are free from the, then you will be free, you will get liberated. What does it mean? That means that is awakening of buddhi. Once our buddhi is awakened, chakshudan diloche, divya gyan hriday prakasito. So this divya gyan is actually awakening of buddhi, spiritual intelligence. Krishna is telling, dadami buddhi yogam tam. And tene brahma hridayadi kavi. So in the heart it is revealed. This buddhi is what is important for us, and we are all striving to achieve this buddhi. And it is very important function for us to come to, and the doubt will help. Say, okay, am I this body? If I am the body, why am I changing? I want to live permanently. And this thought is actually awakening from buddhi. Many of them, they don't even think only. They don't think that, okay, I am going to die. What is the solution for it? They don't even think that, am I this body? So, purposely, just to study, determine, the study to determine whether one's identity is spiritual or material begins in doubt. They don't even want to think. Like sometime, my friend, he works in a very, very big corporate company. And sometime they invite some speakers there, other organizations. And some of them, they attend, the big people. And in the seminar, they ask the questions. Okay, what do you think you are? And what is the purpose of life? As soon as this question is asked, no, many of them say, Are I for 2 3 days I am completely disturbed. I don't want to hear such things. Means if you ask them, no, Are what is the purpose of life? That question itself makes them very disturbed because they don't want to think. They are very lazy. In terms of this, lazy in terms of material activity, they are very, very, very good. But when it comes to awakening of buddhi, they are very lazy. See, normally this is very important point to understand. Like people like to sleep. They want to be in a dream state. They don't want to awaken to reality. If early morning alarm rings, many want to snooze them and they want to go to sleep again. Why is this happening? Because they don't want to awake. That is the problem. They want to continue to be in the sleep. This is the reality. Like if you see people, lovers, now, this is general and general observation. Lovers, now, they sleep less. They awaken very fast because when love is there, you don't want to sleep. Krishna does not sleep in spiritual world. In morning he is with the gopas, evening is with gopis. You don't want to waste time in sleep. Now people, because there is no actual love, they don't experience. That's why they want to be in a dream state only. They don't want to wake up to reality. That is the laziness. This tendency is there to sleep. And the sleep for us is not working on awakening buddhi, which many of them they just say no, let's do it. No, whatever happens, they don't want to even think also. That is a problem, and that is the reason we don't find many people who are interested in this. As a, this soul is active, but now we're in a lazy state. And here Smriti, memory, and Swapna is sleep, or dream also. Sleep is also necessary to keep intelligence in a working order. And okay, we don't want to wake up. So this is the not awakening buddhi. So this is what is the general tendency of people. And then it comes to second here, what Prabhupada is telling is s- sleep is also necessary to keep intelligence working. So what happens now? In deep sleep state, when we are sleeping, the whole day, whatever we have, the experiences we get, they all get digested. So all the experiences get digested. That's why we need to have this deep sleep state every day. This is connecting to the soul. At this level, we get rejuvenated every day. The 2 hours of deep sleep, if people don't get their sleep is very disturbed, then very soon they'll have very great troubles in their mind. Now, important thing, there is a digestion of our emotions, digestion of food. Two things happens. Why we have to sleep properly? To digest food also, and emotions also. And digestion of food, like what happens if food is not digested, then that becomes into ama. Undigested food is the cause of diseases, right? This is Ayurveda. But there are undigested emotions also. They actually cause all other troubles because there are psychosomatic diseases. So what happens when we sleep, both the things are getting digested. Say I had very different experiences today. So when I go to rest, when I sleep, all the emotions are digested. So here digested food, the food that goes into three parts, right? Like first part is which is 30%, three parts, like 33% goes out of body as we come, it comes out, and then the remaining 33%, it is goes to the, where it goes to the body, our muscles, bones are built. But there is another 33%, this is actually goes to the mind. That's how our mind is produced. Our thoughts and feelings and all, that is actually connected. Now there is emotions also. So this should also be digested every day. Then what happens now? There are extreme emotions, either pleasure or pain. They need to be digested. Otherwise, it creates a wrong personality. When like we all have this experience, we go through something very bad, what do we want to do? We want to take rest. Once you take rest, again when we wake up, next day we feel some freshness. What happened? The emotions got digested. That's why it is needed. So Prabhupada is writing the same thing here. Sleep is also necessary to keep intelligence in working order. So because it is digesting, that's why the timing is very important. 10 p.m. to 12, that is the time very good for digestion. Preemptive. That is the best time for digestion of food also and emotions also, like that. And digestion of emotions will keep good mind, for good mind, means good manas. we will not be in extreme state. Otherwise, people who are not doing it, they go into extreme state. If there is no sleep, the brain cannot work nicely. Bhagavad Gita especially mentioned that persons who regulate eating, sleeping, and other necessities of body is in a proper proportion because becomes very successful in yoga. Yuktahar viharasya. There, there are some of these aspects of the analytical study of intelligence as described in both Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Yoga System, and Sankhya Philosophy System of Kapil Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam. Like that. Digestion of emotions means, like, say, now I have extreme, like I went through some very bad state, like somebody insulted me, or I got my exams results which went bad, or I got some extreme of extra happiness and all. They're not. Then what happens is, then the when our intelligence, it digests, it processes, and keeps us in a normal state, not to go in an extreme state, which is not actually good for us. So emotions also need to be digested. Like, say, what we have, like 10 years back, all the emotions, they are little digested. Otherwise, we, like, say, I got a very big insult yesterday. Now, if I don't digest it, I'll have the pain today also. Tomorrow also I have the pain. But if it is digested, then the pain that goes in a subconscious level, and then I don't feel that same pain. Otherwise, I continuously experience pain. So I need to accept the reality. Like when India lost cricket match in the final World Cup final, then it's such a difficult thing for many people to digest. It took some time for them to digest it. We say, na, accept reality, digest the truth. What is digestion? Digestion is of this. This is called digestion. Okay, Gail Mataji. We say, use this word, na, digest the truth. And then egoism in the mode of passion produces two kinds of senses. The sense of acquiring knowledge. So now again, see here, uh, when it is said ego, this is talking about ahankara tattva, mahatattva, ahankara tattva, and sutra tattva, I told. So when it is telling, it is talking. Yes, Gail Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, this digestion of emotions, I'm still a little not clear. So the purpose, the utility of sleep when it comes to digesting emotions means that, let's say, as you were saying, maybe you become very depressed if cricket match is lost, right?
Yeah.
And then you just cannot accept it. You're so devastated by that.
Yeah.
And then, so you're saying that simply by going to sleep and waking up in the morning, everything, now I feel okay about it? Is that the digestion?
You are able to accept it. You are able to digest it. So it takes time for us to digest certain emotional truths. Like they have even the positive things also, not just negative. Both need to be. It should be yukta. It should be regulated. You cannot be in an extreme state. That is not good for our intelligence. We need to be in a, we need to be in a, like, say, children, they are so excited for certain things. We say, no, 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 calm, calm, calm. You say, okay, you are getting some new thing. They are so excited. I say, no, no, calm, calm, calm. So we need to be always in a regulated state. We cannot be in a too extreme emotions. I'm so happy means you'll so cry also. That is what happens. So we need to regulate. So we need to digest that. That's what I understand.
Okay, well, I guess I'm just surprised that, just falling asleep, it just sounds like so simple, you know. But by falling asleep only, the extremity of my, or the extremeness of my emotion will, I can go from being super sad about something to, you know, not so sad just because I've fallen asleep. This just sounds so simple, like kind of over simple. I mean, but I mean, I accept it if it's true. But
That's
I
what
guess
Lord made it something simple. So Prabhupada, it is necessary to keep intelligence is working. If you no sleep, brain cannot work nicely. Why? Because the digestion don't happen. Like you people become insane if they don't get proper sleep because the emotions are troubling them so much. If they don't get sleep for that's why they take some sleeping pills so that they can get rest too. But what is rest for? Rest is for to so that rest means you are digesting the emotions. That is actually the main rest you need.
okay. So digesting emotions. See, we cannot use this same word to define the word. So digesting emotions means that you're saying that the emotions calm down. That's what digestion means, right? It
Yeah,
calms
yeah,
the.
yeah, yeah. Calm. Like no, it's not calming down. What does this do? Na? It also removes which are unnecessary and which are needed. It keeps. That is also done. It is like how we eat food and something unnecessary that goes away. Similarly, digestion also means unnecessary emotions they are taken away. If you take proper rest, you feel little fresh. We all feel fresh. Suddenly went through some very tense situation of work. You had some very extreme work you did, and you say, okay, let me take some rest. When you take rest, you feel little relieved. What is that relieved means that unnecessary things are removed from our consciousness. That's what.
Okay, okay, but to keep, again, to make it practical, I was devastated by the outcome of a game. And so what is, I mean, it seems like it's all unnecessary when it comes to something like that. So how do we understand what is necessary emotion versus what is unnecessary emotion?
Like everything which anything extreme is unnecessary for us, good or bad. You need to be regulated, and that is what is intelligence. Like now, if we are going in an extreme state, any extreme is not good for our any extreme amount of food or no food or extra food. Both are not good for the body.
Oh,
Similarly, anything extreme is not good for the body. You need certain limit only, that much only you need, and that much only it takes. Another thing is deletes or removes it. If I
oh,
extra eat, then also problem for body. You don't eat also problem. You need some limitation. That's why Yuktahara, what Prabhupada is writing here, that you need to be regulated, and that actually makes things easy for us.
yeah, and aids, as you were saying, I think aids the proper functioning of intelligence.
Yeah. So here, sleeping order necessary of the body is a proper proportion. He becomes very successful yogi who is regulated. Means you need to have everything limited. Extreme emotions not good. Extreme food, eating, sleeping, and assets of body in a proper proportion
Mhm.
necessary for yoga.
Okay, thank you so much.
Right. So there is something in chat. Intelligence keeps in the chat box. There a question. Intelligence keeps good emotions and through bad emotions as our desires. Yeah, 10 to 2. Yeah, 10 to 2 is good time. But what is the basis of distinguishing emotions? Can we pray and keep those which are which desires but not need? I will here na a very important thing because the topic came and many of them will be having these questions in their preaching. So I wanted to explain like this food na it anything which goes inside it has three aspects I told here, which affects the mind, which affects the body, and which goes away. So the food which we take, it also has certain energy, not only just in a physical level, it has subtle energy also. And then there is which is energy which we get for the body. This goes to the mind, that is manas, and then there is energy for the body. Now, what happens is any food, if I am doing, there are certain vibrations that goes into the food. Like if a person is eating every day in McDonald's, then what happens? Na? He will become an exemplary American. What happens is that food, na, it makes a because it is produced by machine. So then the mind also becomes manas also becomes. I will not use the word manas. It is confusing. Manas also become mechanical. It like become machine. That is the problem. Now, if I am eating, so three things happens. The vibrations. So the vibrations of who is making, who is serving, and while eating, what type of thoughts. See here, vibration is means what type of thoughts I have that is creating the vibrations. Thoughts that create vibration that enters into it, and while eating, what type of thoughts I have. All the three things will have effect on the person who is eating, the mind, manas. So now what happens is, like say if I am eating a food that is kept in the store, like it is displayed, food is displayed there. Now if I am eating, what happens is many people saw that on the display of the store, and it is not, it's already cooked like samosas or anything you go into the stall. So whoever saw that, na, all their thoughts and their vibration enter into that food. That's why we say if a dog or a cat sees, dog sees the food which you are eating, this is don't eat it because dog already saw the food. So the vibrations, the thoughts of the dog, they entered into it. So it has a vibration. So when we are eating food, we say, okay, keep the animals away or feed them so that they don't come near. They should not see. Very strict. And we should not, now we are eating in a hotel, everybody is seeing it. All their thoughts, the vibration enter into that food. Like, this Japanese experiment, if you remember this famous exam experiment on the water. So, their experiment on water. What they did, they sent different vibrations to the water. Some use bad language, some they gave some nice things. So immediately the crystals of the water, they started forming differently. That means the vibrations that they have sent into the water, somebody they said very bad words. Immediately the crystals in water started changing. Somebody use very good words, the crystal. So whatever you use, the water crystals changed, and that means it has a subtle effect. And our body is also made of water. Most of 70% of our body, 70 some odd percentages of our body is water only. That means the crystals that are affecting, the changing the structure of our body only. That is the reason food, what is the most important ingredient for the manas is love. For manas. Now this ingredient is missing. When we eat outside food or junk food, which is processed food, especially by machine, because it does not have love, what happens is we'll all become very, very mechanical. This is actually what is happening. This junk food and all, it is the problem is that it does not have this element. Like why? Because the food is connected for us with love. Because first time what we eat food is mother's milk. Now mother's milk is the first food, and what she gives, she just not only give that milk, she gives selfless love also. Mother is giving that selfless love. And now we identify food with love. That's why. For us, food means love. Now, if you why we eat psychologically also, people eat more food than what they need also. Why? Because we want love. We identify the food with love because that's what we got in the first. Mother who is selfless, she is giving love, she gives. Now, what happens is now this factor is missing in the food now. If it is taken from outside or if it is taken from the processed food, all these KFCs, McDonald's, which are there in India, they are so much coming. The problem is not the of course item is anyway there. And now in the food na, if it is non-veg, then the vibrations are all violence. So it is directly entering into our mind, manas. This is causing all the problems. So when we are the subtle energy, the thoughts itself creates. So three levels thoughts. Who is making, who is serving, and who is eating. All the three thoughts are affecting our manas. That's why we should be very careful with the food. We cannot just eat anything and anything and everything and everywhere. No, it is not. Then we cannot complain that I am unhappy. Array, your food is only that much bad. How can say that everything will be good for you? First, you work on that. That's why prasadam is very important. Offer to the Lord. Cook yourself. Why all these things? Because it is having so much effect on us. We identify with it. This aspect is missing only. Now a child, no, you can say that no, they are just canned food they give them from the childhood, from Farex or something they give because mother is not able to give milk or some reasons. Now for the child, it will be little difficult because that selfless love is not experienced. So for us, that is most important. So food is now the vibrations, the thoughts creates vibrations, creates vibrations, and these vibrations that is there for whole family, like what type of whomever I am associating, whomever I am associating, their thought vibrations will affect me. That's why we tell be association of very advanced devotees because that is affecting me. Now whole family, we are staying in a family, all their thoughts have effect on my manas. And the whole city, whole nation has certain thought. It has an effect. And this effect is collective karma. Collective karma of family, collective karma of the nation. Because a certain thought is there in the whole country and that affects, like say Israel, they all have certain thought and they'll have certain karma. Say if other country, Russia or India or any country. So it's a collective karma. So it's all. That is the reason we should always cultivate good thoughts. Okay, we will. Yes, Gail Mataji. You have question?
I'm sorry, Prabhu. I did not lower my hand.
Okay, okay, okay. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. It's my name only. I don't know why it is coming Redmi all the time. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranam to you. Prabhuji, I lost the question itself, but Prabhuji, you mentioned that the water, there is a vibrations, right? Could you please go above where you wrote that water kind explanation?
Yeah.
So, so you mentioned that in that experience, that experiment, it was that the water will store the vibrations. Say if it is a negative, it will store, means it will change its crystal and all. So for my question was, for how long it will store? Say if there is a glass of water and if I say a negative word, and I need that, I have only one option to drink that water, and then if I say that positive thing immediately, will it happen immediately, or it will have that some retention or sustainability of that particular thing?
Why we do na Achman we do. Achman when we do, you take the water and immediately you chant the mantra Om Keshwaya Namaha Narayana Madhavaya Namaha. Then immediately that has an effect in the water.
Even
While
though if we say inside our heart, say if I go in someone's house, first of all we don't eat, but we have that we get the water, So at that time, if I say the mantras, say certain mantras in my heart without even pronouncing it, will the clusters change, Prabhuji?
We have to say little loudly. You can say Hare Krishna and you drink.
Oh, okay, Prabhu.
So they'll not mind. When they are giving only, when they say thank you very much, Hare Krishna. So you use the word Vishnu, Govinda, Rama, some spiritual word you use and you take it. So then it is changing.
And Prabhuji, you mentioned about this manas part, no? There is a confusion, really. So I want to know what exactly you mean by manas now. Before you go with the this thought explanation, no? Please give that what exactly you mean by manas. You mean only the mind, or it's an collection of the mind, feelings, thinking, willing, everything
Whether you use
together.
Sanskrit word or English word, otherwise you'll be confused. Here, Manas is
Sanskrit word.
Manas, which has this emotional part, and then Buddhi. So if you say mind, mind can be Manas is also mind, Buddhi is also mind, Chitta is also mind.
Hmm.
Mind only, but it is subconscious, is
Hmm.
conscious, and this is unconscious. So in that way, it is all our mind only. So if you say
Hmm.
mind, it is confusing. What you are meaning, whether you are meaning buddhi or the manas. That's why I'm using Sanskrit term, so not to confuse.
So, Prabhuji, you are mentioning manas means subconscious mind, isn't it?
All the emotions are stored here. Like, I don't like. Where is the
Yes,
desire?
yes, yes,
So
yes.
that's
And
what is we discussed. Yeah.
yes, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, I have one more doubt. How we should differentiate between the feelings and emotion? What exactly is the difference?
Same only.
No difference at all.
No difference means, yeah, I have some feelings I don't like. So it's all here only at the level of manas.
Okay, Prabhuji. So,
Feelings, desires at the level of manas only.
okay, so whatever we are doing in devotion, we are doing it consciously. But to hit the subconscious mind, say manas, we have to focus on prasadam. Is my understanding correct, Prabhuji?
Now, what happens is your emotions, desires are depending on manas. So, whatever food we are eating is directly affecting manas. So, we have to be careful in what, if I am eating very extreme food, which is affecting the emotions, like a non vegetarian and all, it affects your emotions, it affects your desires. If you are eating sattvic prasadam, it affects emotions and desire because it directly touching the manas. That's why.
No, means Prabhuji, my question was, say if I do book distribution, if I do prasadam service, or if I do the DD workshop, so all these are devotional service only. Okay,
Which is
and
affecting your manas.
but in different perspective, means say if I do DD worship at an initial level without having emotions and thoughts, it will give the result at that particular level. But if I involve my thoughts and emotions, then the reciprocation will be that level. But it is a type of the reciprocation, isn't it? Because when we do prasadam services, it will give different result of that particular devotional service. Are you understanding, Prabhuji, my question? I'm
Huh.
saying that if I do different kind of devotional service, different kind of thought processes will be purified. It will
Not
not
on
purify
different
all
kind,
the thought
Madhuri.
processes.
No, it's not like that. It is and the intensity of your emotion. It depends on how it is. It is proportionate to intensity of emotions. Like if you are with great emotion, you have chanted, it affects your mind. You didn't chant with great emotion, but with great emotion, you have served prasadam. Say some of your relatives came or some great spirit, Maharaj came with great emotion you have served Prashant. So Manas is very affected with how much intensity of emotion you are doing. that they all get stored. Like not all actions will have reactions. The karma will not have all the things. Wherever intensity of emotion is there, that is what is stored. That's why you say, why you say, like, if you see Jagannath in the cart of on the Rath Yatra day and Jagannath on the cart, you will not get again. But with that intense emotion you have taken darshan of Jagannath, then that is the thought which will come at the time of death. You will remember that thought and you will get liberated. That's the point there. So anything wherever intense, why childhood, your school and your small childhood places where you stayed, why you very fondly remember when you go there, you get nostalgia, that effect. Why you feel that effect? Because their intense emotions are involved. We are very small. We get so much affected by that emotions there. That's why it has an effect for us. So the manas is, it's not that which devotional service, which devotional you have performed very intensely. Your hearing is intense, or your reading is intense, or your serving prasadam or deity worship, where a book distribution, whichever you have done intensely will have effect on manas, which will make you progress. That is the point.
So, Prabhuji, I will ask one last question. So, Prabhuji, does this mean that other sampradayas who are not focusing on prasadam, because see, when I see Varkaris in Maharashtra, they eat this no, this what you call kanda lasun, onion garlic. So they are not focusing on prasadam, but they are doing the devotional services, and they are getting purified to an extent that at the death moment call they can say, or they have the emotion to call Lord. I mean, they can remember the God. So what we are focusing on prasadam, it's not the same case with them. So how we should look this, if what you are saying, how we should understand this, Prabhuji? Could you please teach on this?
Like definitely, if you take onion garlic, it will have effect on manas. It's a science. It is not that. Now when you are going, if you are going in a very rough road, it will take time. But if you are going in a highway, you will go fast. So that means if your mind is already clean with all the things, we are taking only prasadam and all, you are going in a highway, the process, not that the person who is going in a rough road will not reach the goal. He will reach, but he will take it is struggling road, because every time he want to remember the Lord, because manas is defiled with the stamoguni food, it will have effect on him. The process is a little slow for him. The same amount of effort you put and only take prasadam which is offered without onion, garlic food, everything proper you are doing, you will make fast progress. Not that they are not making progress, but only thing is it is an obstacle for their progress. So if they want make the same effort, more progress, you are going at you can go very fast. You are in a highway. You have to do whatever is uncool for you. It's not that it will not happen, but it will take a slow process. Now I am putting fire also, and little bit water also I am sprinkling. The fire will become little slow, right? You understand? Your
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, there is a huge mercy coming to us, isn't it? Because when I see other sampradayas and our sampradaya, how we practice devotion, so they have the same kind of emotion to the Lord. We also have the same kind of emotion of the Lord, but the quality and the intensity of emotion is completely different. We cannot, if both of the sampradayas speak on the dais, we cannot make out whose devotion is. But when we talk to them, or when we churn their consciousness, then only we can understand that it's purified or not, it's for Lord or not. Is my understanding correct now?
we cannot judge Mataji. We cannot know what is there in the heart, because that feelings, how much love you have for your children or mother and all, we cannot know it. You may sometime I go and I fight with my mother, but it looks like externally I don't have any love for my mother, but internally I may have love. That cannot be known by external activity, and we cannot judge anytime. We will never know what is their intensity and all. It's not possible. Like every time I call my mother, I may have a fight. but I can have love also. That cannot be seen. You say, oh, you always fight with your mother, but really you have love. So external things cannot be known. Like it means that it cannot be known. Love you have or devotion, you cannot be known.
Yes, Prabhuji. I got the answer, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Eternally grateful to you.
Keshav Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just now, lastly, you were explaining, Prabhuji, our thought process in the family, it is a collective karma, it reflects the nation, all those things you're explaining, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, we devotees are also living in this material world only, Prabhuji, and even among family members, there may be non-devotees also. And we need to go to work, we are going to clinic like that. We are meeting many satsanga also, Prabhuji, though we don't get their association physically, but just now you explained the thoughts itself will affect. So how we are defended, Prabhuji, how we are protected, Prabhuji, in such cases?
That's why our sadhana should be strong so that we don't get affected. Instead, we affect their thoughts. If any very intense, very heavy thought process like this nationalistic people or dharmic people, they are very intense in their in their thought process, and you associate with them, there is always a risk that we'll get affected. And like even Prabhupada also, his pastime. Anyway, Prabhupada also got affected by Gandhi's movement. What does it mean? But the thought process is affecting. The Gandhi's thought process affected whole country. And he affected Prabhupada, of course. When he came to Siddhanta Thakur, then his thought process affected Prabhupada. So anywhere, if we are strong, that's why we should always be in a strong association. Every day we should hear. So that our, like, no, Balram Shakti process, no, we should follow pure devotion, pure devotion, pure devotion. So that the thought process is affecting us. Otherwise, no, we may also get carried away. No, we should protect Hinduism, we should protect Dharma, Varna. Whomever you are hearing, na, it is definitely. See, whatever I am speaking, na, that is what I heard. Any of us, whomever we are, whoever all of us, whatever we are speaking, na, it's not we are speaking. It's whatever we associated that is making us speak.
Exactly, Prabhuji.
So now I associated with something, that's what I am speaking. So you are associating with something, that's what you will speak. So everybody is speaking what is their association, not their thought. It is already, that is a programming that is happening to us. So we should be careful. We should
These
associate
things
with.
I understand, Prabhuji, but even Valram Shakti Prabhu, per day 5 hours I can hear, Prabhuji. Remaining 19 hours, I am in a different association. I mean, I am with
Yeah,
many
the
people.
quality of hearing matters, Mataji. You are that 5 hours also, if you are hearing with that quality, then other time we may not get affected. We may be with them, but it does not make any difference for us. We are okay with even if
No,
we are.
Prabhuji, that subtle transactions will be happening only, na. That's what I'm asking, because now I'm understanding something. Even the food, that vibration, the thought process, all these things are very subtle, no, Prabhuji. Physically, I cannot see anything there. So when we are going to marriage functions, Prabhuji, where thousands of asat sanghas there, Prabhuji, we so like that we are on olden days, those who are very sincere in bhakti, they will be mostly focused on temple, they will go to Himalayas, or they will be even when they are in family life, they will be constraining themselves to a very very small circle, Prabhuji. But here now we are all in grahastha life, we need to go to all these things now, Prabhuji, condolence, marriage, all those things, at least to some extent, some important things we should go now, Prabhuji. So, is that anything we can do to protect our consciousness? Should we chant internally in such place like that? I'm asking Prabhuji, how to protect.
You are already prepared for it, then you will not get affected. Once you go, you got affected something, you know, okay, these things will affect me. Their different dresses they wear, or their jewelry, or their thought, or their talks, or these things. You already know it. Like say in the meeting, if I attend something, so I know I'm going to behave in a particular. Before only I'm prepared. And that is actually what is our morning chanting is meant for, so that we can remain immune whole day. Like if you go to some African countries, now you have to take yellow fever vaccination before you enter into the country only. And then only you are allowed to enter into country, because the whole yellow fever, the virus, the bacteria, virus, whatever is there in the whole country. So you have to be immune. Similarly, this effect is always there around us. We have to be very careful. We have to always make sure that our morning chanting and morning Bhagavatam class, which is an immunity, we are taking a vaccination for whole day. we don't get affected. And we are knowing that you are going for a function or party, you chant
Mm.
more extra round so that you get immune to the situation what is happening there.
Okay, okay. Prabhuji, and last question. Even in temple, Prabhuji, where a variety of devotees will be coming, Prabhuji, various levels. Some may be just entering Prakrada, Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. Variety of devotees will be there, no, Prabhuji, in temple. So, in such cases, even in temple, um, our consciousness will be affected by different conscious level, no, Prabhuji.
What we have to do, if we are
Mm.
having a good vision of observing good qualities and their good behavior or their devotional part, oh, he is like some youth is coming. No,
Mm.
he came to temple, but he is wearing a very fancy or
Mm.
very provoking or some type of dress he is wearing and coming.
Mm.
Now, instead of seeing that, no, why he is coming in this way, we should at least appreciate, at least he is coming to temple.
Yeah.
At least he is making an endeavor to come to Krishna. No, all this
Mm.
at this age, children, students, and all these college students, they go to some other parties.
Mm.
He's at
Mm.
least coming to temple. So instead
Mm.
of seeing that negative part of why she is wearing such dress, we can appreciate at least they are coming to temple.
Mm.
So everywhere we'll be able to find such means it's based on our vision what we are associating with.
That subtle transformation, I mean communication, that part I'm asking, Prabhuji.
Okay, it is
Generally,
based on our thought. If I am looking at that person, I says, okay, at least he, this Prabhuji, this Mataji, whoever they are, we are able to see their good partner. Then the negative vibrations don't enter into our state consciousness.
oh, so we are only allowing the negative vibe, like that you're
Yeah,
telling, Prabhuji. Even when we are in, I mean, in different people association, only when we allow the negative vibration, then it will go. Otherwise, we can be protected, Prabhuji, subtly.
yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
And now we will continue. Egoism in the mode of passion produce two kinds of senses, sense for acquiring knowledge and sense for action. So karmendriyas and jnanendriyas. So now when it is ego, again we have to understand that this is talking about uh, ego at the two levels are there. One ego is formed because of the impressions. See, after chitta, there is, here I told, and here comes the ego part also. Ego is identity. All the things now, all the three things, not this chitta part. This is all because of impressions. Our ego is formed because of impressions, buddhi and manas. They are all formed because of chitta only. But there is ahankara tattva that is actually creating. Hello. Uh, I don't want to confuse, but I will I will tell you. See here, Mahatattva, Sutra Tattva, Ahankara Tattva. Right? So Mahatattva only transforms into Sutra Tattva and Ahankara Tattva. This is only forms because here the time factor entered, time and three modes. So the three modes are getting agitated here. So they form these things. Now from here comes uh, this is actually Chitta part. And now this is associating with all the three modes, and then Manas is formed, Buddhi is formed, and Ahankara. So all these things are formed from here only. So this Ahankara. So anyway, uh, we don't want to make it more complicated. Simple. This Ahankara, again, it is associating with the three modes, form this, and this is also forming the senses. That is simple to understand. It has been explained in the previous verse that mind is a product of ego and goodness, manas, and that the function of manas is acceptance and rejection according to desires. If you see Bible story, na, Adam and Eve, when the snake comes and tells, don't, when the Lord tells, don't eat the forbidden fruit. And what is the forbidden fruit? It says, you will start discriminating. I like, I don't like, good and bad. So this acceptance and rejections, na, this is where the problem starts. This is the forbidden fruit of Eden garden. But here, intelligence is said to be product of ego and passion. That is the distinction between manas and buddhi. Manas is a product of egoism in goodness, and buddhi is a product of egoism in passion. The desire to accept something and reject something is very important factor of manas. Since manas is a product of goodness, it is fixed upon Lord of mind Aniruddha. Then the manas can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. It is stated by Narottam Das Thakur that we always have desires. Desires cannot be stopped. But if we transfer our desires to please Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, it is a perfection of life. As soon as the desire is transformed to lording it over material nature, it becomes contaminated by matter. Desire to have desire has to be purified. In the beginning, this purification process has to be carried out by the order of spiritual master. Since the spiritual master knows how the disciples' desires can be transferred into Krishna consciousness, as far as Buddhi is concerned, it is clearly stated here that it is a product of egoism in passion. Why I am using word Buddhi, not to make it more easy for you to understand. Otherwise, intelligence, it is not, because in English, no, that word is not there. That's why Prabhupada has to use that word. By practice, one comes to the point of mode of goodness, and by surrender and or fixing mind unto the personality of God, one becomes very great personality, Mahatma. In this verse, it is clear that both kinds of senses, knowledge acquiring, acting senses, they are egoism and passion, are product of egoism. And because the sense organs or activities and for acquiring knowledge require energy, the vital energy or life energy is also product of egoism and passion. So this vital energy. We can actually see therefore that those who are very passionate can improve in material acquisition very quickly. It is recommended in Vedic scripture that if one want to encourage a person acquiring material acquisition, one should also encourage him in sex life. That's why Kshatriyas are allowed to marry more because they want to encourage a person material position. Why it happens like that? We naturally find that those who are addicted to sex life are also materially advanced because sex life or passion life is an impetus for material advancement of civilization. Like in India, we have saying like no, if you want to make a person is very lazy, if you want to make him act, he says get him married. So he starts acting. What happens is the passion will enter into that person, and then he will start acting. For those who want to make spiritual advancements, there is almost no existence of passion. Only mode of goodness is prominent. We find that those who engage in Krishna consciousness are materially poor, but one who has eyes to see who is greater. Although he appears to be materially poor, a person in Krishna consciousness is actually not a poor person. But a person who has taste for Krishna consciousness appear to be very happy with material position is actually poor. Persons infatuated by material consciousness are very intelligent in discovering things for material compass, but they have no access to understanding the spirit, soul, and spiritual life. Therefore, if anyone wants to advance in spiritual life, he has to come back to the platform of purified desires. And so here, pure devotional service punch. Rishikena Rishikesh Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. And Okay, we have few questions. Yes, Keshapriya Mataji, you have a question?
Prabhuji, sorry, I didn't hear it.
Okay, KL Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, this is a subject that has been discussed in the past, but I still need to ask about it again. You know, when we think of intelligence, we normally think of goodness. And when we think of desires and emotions, you know, we more easily think of passion. So when we hear that intelligence is egoism in the mode of passion and manas is egoism in the mode of goodness, those statements sound counterintuitive, you know? So how to make sense of this? I mean, you can say we just have to accept it. Yeah, I know, but
Not accepting. Uh, if you try to understand how, like, no, here when it is called about manas, it is chitta only, chitta part, which is actually very neutral, and it is having all the impressions.
oh, so when we say that the mind is the false ego in the mode of goodness, mind there refers to chitta, not manas.
Even manas also, it is actually passion. If our manas it is roaming here there, but in a natural state we have to bring it to the level of, like, our manas is made of three elements: goodness, passion, and ignorance.
Yeah.
Now we have to bring manas to this state, goodness. If it is in passion and ignorance, which is presently now, it is not in a proper state. It is not swastha. As such, because it is made of goodness, it is very simple. Say now, our manas, if you keep it in goodness, it is in a very simple state. But it is contaminated, it is more of passion and ignorance. As such, manas in goodness, it is almost like chitta only. It is very, very calm. It's a very clean lake. You can see the bottom also. It is very clean. It should be in goodness. Like manas is very simple also, in the sense, like you cannot. It is you tell for small children, okay, this is nice, you do it. This is nice, you do it, and they are very simple. They understand. They are in goodness. They will hear to it. Manas is undisturbed. But if it is contaminated, then it comes into mode of passion ignorance, which is not the natural state for manas. So naturally, manas is goodness only. We have to bring it to regulation. What does regulation means? Regulation means you are, for what is regulation? Regulation is your manas only, right? Like you have to wake up at this time, you have to sleep at this time, you have to eat this time, you have to eat this much quantity. It is for whom? Because manas always have some things. He says, no, I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like this. Then whom we are training? We are training manas only. We are telling you, like, you don't know, no, this much you eat, this is the time you eat. For whom you are training? You are training manas. And by that what happens? The manas comes to mode of goodness, and it becomes very peaceful, calm, happy. Like, if you wake up in the morning and you said, I don't have anything to do today. Immediately now what problem comes? Manas, this is, what should I do, what should I do? And after end of the day you say, oh, whole day I wasted my time, because you didn't plan anything. But you plan is for whom? Plan is for manas only, to bring it to mode of goodness. Regulation, planning, all these things manas, to keep in goodness. If our manas is in goodness, you will feel very happy also. Because otherwise, if you are having a remote and TV and you don't have anything to do, you 2 3 hours goes and nothing happens. You say, I'm feeling, I wasted my time. Because but you have some, okay, I have to hear this recording. I have to watch this documentary on Mayapur or something. You already have something. So manas, you regulate it, it is goodness. So this is, regulation is for manas only. You have to bring it to goodness.
You're saying that if you don't have a plan for the manas, you will feel like you wasted your time or something. I didn't follow you properly there.
We have to keep manas in goodness. That means regulation is goodness. But if you don't give, it is in passion and ignorance, and then you will not feel satisfied. Because manas, you should not bring it to passion ignorance. It is natural state is goodness. Now it
Okay.
is affected by passion and ignorance. It is not passion and ignorance. Manas is natural state is goodness. Now it is affected by passion and ignorance like that.
Okay, but Prabhu, you started out by saying that when we said that the mind and the false ego in the or ahankara in the mode of goodness, that is the mind, right? And I thought you said that when we say mind in that context, we're referring to chitta. But then your talk went to focus on the manas, it seems.
See, this no much difference. Manas and chitta, na, how manas is formed, it is coming from chitta only. See how our manas is formed. I already told this. Chitta, it only forms ahankara, it only forms manas, it only forms buddhi. Because chitta is impressions. Impressions in a very neutral state. That's why this is Mahatattva also. So here, this is chitta, which is having all the impressions. Any impressions you have in life, it is all stored here. Now, these impressions form these three parts for us. Like say ahankara. How ahankara is formed? Ahankara is formed like you say what type of personality you are. You will say, okay, I am very inquisitive personality. I am very, I am very sensitive. I am so and so. Like I am very shrewd. I am very kind. I am what? Why are you saying you are kind? Why are you saying you are inquisitive? Because you got such impressions which made you identify yourself like that. I'll say I'm very shrewd. How did you become shrewd? Because of the impressions only. How did you become kind? Because of the impressions only. How did you become very angry, arrogant? Because of, like in the childhood, if I have good impressions, good experiences, then I'll form my personality. So ahankara is your personality. So how did you get this personality? You say I am this personality. How did you get? Because of the impressions. And where the impressions, it is chitta only. Now when it comes to manas, now where are you getting these emotions from? Like you have an impression of a mango. You have an impression of a personality. No, in the crowd. Now you had a very bad impression of the crowd. So when you go into crowd, Manas will immediately give a rejection. He says, no, I don't want it. How did you get this Manas? Because of impressions. And where are the impressions stored? In the Chitta only. Where are you getting this Buddhi? What is right? What is wrong? You should do like this. It should be done like this. That is also impressions only. So in one level, it is all Chitta only. And Manas, when it is in a pure state, it is almost like Chitta. Because it is in all the emotions we are reducing. In goodness, na, what happens in goodness? You are controlling the emotions. That's what whole Bhagavad Gita, whenever Krishna says, Sita Ushna, Sukha Dukkada, happiness, distress, pleasure, pain, be equipoised, be equipoised, be equipoised. What is equipoised? You are bringing this manas to goodness, which is almost like chitta only. It is in a very pure state. That is the point here. So when you call chitta, it is goodness. Even manas also, which is in an emotional state, we have to bring it calm down, calm down. Then you will completely calm down. It is almost like only impressions, no agitations. Agitation is because of I like, I don't like. So in chitta, you don't have it. And pure goodness, manas in pure level also, it is almost like only impressions. Okay, no You are unaffected by it. So that is the point I wanted to tell. It is clear, Mataji?
Well, you're unaffected, but the like and don't like are still there, though, right? In manas. And again, with the ahankara, when the chitta gives rise to the ahankara, I think the other two were a little clearer for me. When it comes to ahankara, the connection between chitta and ahankara, like, I'm just trying to see how the impressions lead to, like, anger, right? Let's say anger. I don't know.
Not anger. I'm
Let's say I
telling
had so much.
people. Okay, I ask you a question. What type of personality you are? What you will
God,
say about yourself?
ask me something else.
So why did you get?
Okay.
Why do you say that you are such personality? From where you got that?
Well, my experiences, right?
That's what. Na, the experiences are from where? That is from impressions. Na, experience means impressions only.
Yes, yes.
That is the point. So it is from chitta only, na. See, now I am a personality. In the childhood, your parents took care of you so nicely. So you will become a very loving and caring person. That means you got that impressions in the childhood that made you a loving and caring person. So you say I am a very loving and caring personality. Why? Because you got that impressions.
Okay, but the person who says I am an angry person, they will say that because they are
Not
experiencing
angry
that they.
person, you are short-tempered person. You are short-tempered. How? Because you got that impressions. Because your parents were short-tempered. So when you when we became big, then we also became short-tempered. Or whatever experience we got, because of that we become a short-tempered person or angry person, whatever.
Yeah, why wouldn't you say that's an angry person?
Same,
A
same.
short. Yeah, so a person, I just need a little more clarity. So when a person is to say that their impression is to be short-tempered, what you're saying, that because they saw others reacting in a very short-tempered way, then they adopted that.
No, it's not like that. What happens is like my things are not allowed. I am not given this, I am not given that. Whenever I want, I am always rejected. Because I got so much rejections, then immediately I form some negativity. So that makes me a short tempered. Means how a person becomes short tempered, there can be different reasons. Because of my bad, every time my things are rejected, every time my things. So whenever next time my things are rejected, immediately I become very taken back, and now I feel very insecure. Why they are not doing what I want? So that is actually that rejection immediately comes because of the experiences which I have. In the childhood, no, for every small thing, I said, no, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Then now I become every time my things are not done. So I may turn up into a short tempered person, or I means I don't know exactly the equation which type of impression will make which type of personality, but I'm just giving some
Oh,
my own. I
okay.
cannot
So yeah, you're
exactly
just giving
equate which
example of
impression.
you're just giving an example of how a person's experiences lead to
But
the character that they have.
yeah, yeah. That's why
Okay.
childhood is very important. You have to give them so much love and care so that they grow up. Like if we say the child drinks for 4 years the milk of the mother's breast milk, then he will never look at any other woman in a lusty way. He can control his
Mm,
manas very, because he got a very strong impressions of love and care. All women he can treat them very nicely. He will not become lusty
mm-hmm.
because the impressions are like that. No?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. Very illuminating. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
now when buddhi comes in passion, na, because it is action part, that's why it is passion. So when we say buddhi, it is a
Oh.
action. All the actions we do it, that's why it is in passion. Like now you want to perform any activity, you need to use your buddhi. The discrimination is
Uh-huh.
actually what is needed to do. How to do it? Like, should I ask the question in this way or on that way? That means the action
Oh,
part is there. So that is all buddhi. That's why it is passion.
I see. Yeah, very, very good, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Next. Shiv Kumar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavats, Prabhu. Prabhu, the mode of goodness, right, Prabhu? Just wanted to understand uh, how is that different from the Suddha Sattva, Prabhu? Because the mode of goodness also has binding on knowledge and happiness. And we hear that the equipoised is always tagged to the mode of goodness. We just wanted to understand difference between that and then the Shuddha Sattva.
It has because it is binding because of these two things, and it is not completely good because it has some passion and ignorance part to it.
Hmm.
And why it is binding is because of these two reasons only. Because you get some happiness and goodness, you feel there is a touch of some level of uh, the soul is there. So you feel some experience, some happiness,
Hmm.
and that knowledge part. Because we are Sat and Chit, we have these two features:
Hmm.
eternity, knowledge, and bliss. We have
Hmm.
this feature. So we are happy with that state. We don't want to change the state because it is goodness.
Hmm.
So the experience itself is because you are feeling peaceful. That is it. You are born for it. We
Okay.
always are born to some goodness. If we don't have the service attitude, now we are born there. But if we have a desire to serve, then we want to go up, up, up and serve the Supreme Lord. So in that way, we can come out of it. Otherwise, the tendency to be enjoy and like Brahma Jyoti. Brahma
Hmm.
Jyoti is pure goodness. So you don't have desire to serve. But if you
Hmm.
have desire to serve, then you can get more happiness than goodness also.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Otherwise, it is bondage.
Okay, okay, okay. So, Prabhu, just follow-up questions, Prabhu, just two key questions. So, you were talking about the peaceful or the attachment to the peace or the that nature of this thing. So, say if there is some inconvenience that is involved in doing some service, say I have to preach to someone that I know, but there is some lot of inconvenience that gets involved if I have to preach bhakti itself or share bhakti itself. If I try to avoid that because it is an inconvenience, is it right to say that I'm trying to be situated in mode of goodness where there is peace because I try to avoid some inconvenience or suffering in terms of sharing bhakti with others?
It is inconvenience or not. What is favorable to Krishna, what pleases Krishna is important for us. It's
Mm-hmm.
not whether it is inconvenience, it's a level of manas only.
Mm. That's what, Prabhu.
We want to be always in a very little more comfortable situation,
Mm-hmm.
which may not be correct also.
That's where I had this question, Prabhu. If I am too attached to the comfortable position, is that the attachment to the mode of goodness than taking inconvenience for the purpose of Krishna?
Yeah, goodness. Or sometimes it may be laziness also.
Mm, mm,
Tamoguna
mm,
also,
mm,
not goodness.
mm. So here is where I had one question, Prabhu. I have sometimes very bad experience when I try to not necessarily share bhakti, but just to share the goodness of bhakti, because others are not conducive to take up spiritual pursuit. They start talking about material topics and all that. We are also talking in today's session. So it seems one end trying to avoid the inconvenience because I am attached to the peace or the comfortable position is one extreme. The other extreme is others' conditioning affects my consciousness itself. And when I approach them with an objective of sharing the goodness of bhakti, so it seems to be two ends, and I am struggling, Prabhu. It's a certain experience, not always, some with some of the people.
We have to know how to balance. We should not get exploited.
Mm,
In the same way, we should not be irresponsible also. We have
mm.
to know that, okay, this is good for me, I should do.
Okay.
And at the same time, we have to be careful not to get exploited. We have to be shrewd. That is a devotee. He
Mm,
knows this is right. And initially people, they if other people are sentimental, we cannot do much.
mm,
But if they are intelligent, then only we can help them.
mm,
So we will not be able to help everyone. There will be
mm,
so many sentimental people outside. There is no point wasting time with them. Just be little nice and cozy, and just you have to when you are interacting, you should know what is that other person. He is very emotional person, and for him this is right. So you just deal with him that much level only. If he's an emotional person, don't tell philosophy. If he's a philosophical person, don't be emotional with him. We should know what is the personality of that whom we are interacting. Like say somebody death, somebody you go, somebody died in the family, and you are going and meeting him. That time should not tell much philosophy. We should be emotional. We said, "Oh yeah, we understand. It's painful." We have to be little emotionally. We have to talk to them. And philosophy we'll give when everything is normal. That time, after maybe 3 4 days or 10 days, we can start his philosophy. But he is in front of his dead body of his beloved person. You go and talk philosophy. It is not. So when a person is in emotional state, you try to speak in emotional things. When he's in a rational level, we have to talk rational things. It will help him like that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Complete anything. We just took one shloka today. Okay, thank you all very much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam.